And in this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast, we had on Miss Kiana Danial. She is the CEO of Invest Diva, and she talks all about how to make your money work for you. And she talks today about how you can actually take your money and make it work for you using her unshakable wealth ecosystem. The 4 I's are influence, income, investing, and insurance. We're going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Kerry Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. Yee-yee. All right, Kiana Danial, welcome to the Happy Hustle Podcast, my friend. I am super excited to rock the mic with you.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, this could be a fun one. I mean, you are the CEO of Invest Diva. You are a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author. You're an award-winning entrepreneur, internationally recognized personal investing and wealth management expert. And you, my friend, are a happy hustler, and you're making your money work for you. And I am really excited to talk about how you amassed this portfolio and how you now have $500K a month in passive income, and you have a whole business based around teaching others personal finance and investing and really just how to better manage money. And I think this is a hot topic, especially now given the current climate, with everything going on in our economy. It's a interesting time to be alive and to be, an entrepreneur, right? So I want to talk about all that good stuff. But before we get into it, what is something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
Not too many people know. That's a very hard question because almost everybody knows everything about me. But I would say this is the one that most people know that I ski. Like I'm a skier. That's the one thing I do. But I'm like also tiny. And one thing that people don't know is that in Japan, I'm not so tiny. So I was on the basketball team in Japan.
Nice.
So that's one thing that literally nobody in my team even knew about. I'm like, yeah, I'm in Japan. I'm good. So.
I love that. That's hilarious. I mean, first of all, I love skiing. I snowboard technically, but in Montana.
Oh, you don't talk to snowboarders. No.
Yeah, I know, right? But I will say there's some great skiing out here. When you're ready, you let me know. Secondly, I saw your April Fool's post about you being a basketball player. Did you actually play pro in Japan?
No, I didn't. So we modify. So this is how we came up with that April Fool's thing because I found out that my executive team didn't know this fact about me because she was like, "Oh, it's March Madness. Let's do a campaign about college basketball." And I know Kiana doesn't know much about basketball, but let's do it. I'm like, what do you mean? No, I was on the basketball team. That's how we came up. She's laughing her butt off. She's like, what? You were talking to that. This is so funny. Listen on April Fool's. So that's how we can say it has an element of truth.
Okay.
I didn't play professionally, but that was my sport of choice in college. So that's how we came up with it. And I did get 3 times the points for my sport. So I was the forward. So I was celebrated as the only woman and as the only woman in our team. So it was
okay. Well, very cool. That's amazing. So I want to kick things off with a bang. I'm curious, what do you make of this current market for both the real estate market, the stock market, the geopolitical climate? I know this is a broad topic, but where do you see right now, just to give everyone reference, depending on when you're listening, it's about to be, it's early Q2, right, in 2023. And I'm just curious, like, what do you make of this current climate right now? And how does it measure up in terms of like the cyclical history of investing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the fact is that there is always opportunity. What I see in the current market climate is opportunity, because wealth is not created or destroyed. It only changes location. So as an investor, as an entrepreneur, all you have to do is put your investigative hat on and say, where is wealth going? If it's going out of America, where is it going? Go invest there. If it's going out of tech, where is it going? Go invest there. So that is basically what the principle of investing and wealth creation in general. And current economic, political conditions, and let's say only Americans are listening to this. So in America, we are hitting historically the end of an 80-year block that typically is the beginning of the end, basically. And we typically have something really, really crazy happening in this 80-year, like end of the 80-year block. We have civil wars or World War II and things like that. So again, not that history repeats itself, history rhymes. And losers react, leaders predict, anticipate. That's what Tony Robbins says. And that's what we do as well. So I'm not saying, oh my gosh, we're going to hit a catastrophe. I'm saying there is a possibility. So the best thing you can do is to prepare yourself, have a plan. If this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And that is the best thing you can do for your investment portfolio, for your company, because then you're going to remove the emotions. You're not going to react to whatever that could be happening or could not be happening. If it doesn't happen, great. If it does happen, you have a plan. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what I'm doing right now for my company, for my investment portfolio, as an entrepreneur and as an investor and as a mom, is creating this strategy. And that's why I came up with this unshakable wealth ecosystem. And I think a lot of people, even in investing world, in entrepreneurship world, they focus on one element alone. It's like, okay, I'm just going to invest. I'm going to invest in stocks or I don't know, crypto or bonds. Or if people become passionate about one thing and they go all in. But what I've found out in my years and years and years of investing and being an entrepreneur is that, first of all, going all in anything, besides focusing on one thing at a time, is a great thing. But putting all of your eggs in one basket is not a very good thing, especially when we're anticipating something could be happening. So this unshakable wealth ecosystem kind of have all the 4 pillars. If you have at least 3 of them in place, you are going to be unshakable, no matter what happens. So that's what I focus on right now. That's why I'm super passionate about getting the word out before this thing happens. So people are have the safety net, not to fear fear mongering, but you want to have the safety net. You're about to become a dad. You would know that you want to have a safety net. The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I am the mom. I'm we need to have that,
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to prepare. You have to think logically, what is a nice cup? I like that. Best mom ever cup for those of you just listening. That is.
I'm down. I bring this. Best mom ever. She's not always, but it's nice to know that she once told me that.
So you talk about the unshakable wealth ecosystem and the 4 pillars. Let's dive in for the happy hustlers out there who want to be better prepared for whatever comes our way. Hit us with those 4 pillars.
So the first and foremost important of your unshakable wealth ecosystem is obviously income. You want to have an income. People are oh my gosh, I'm going to go invest and I'm going to become a millionaire. That is a big mistake if you think that your money is going to come from trading, options, day trading, crypto alone. Why? Because the whole concept behind investing is make your money work for you, right? But you can't make the money you don't have work for you, right? Because then, in that case, you have to go on leverage, and that is so risky. That's why 96% of people who just are rookies and go try to invest or trade and make a quick buck, they lose their money because they are on leverage. They borrow money from the bank. Now, I'm not leveraging debt sometimes is a good thing, especially if you're starting a business. But when it comes to investing, it's not a good thing because when you leverage to accelerate your business, you are going after actual income. But when you're investing, you're going after future income. And that future, from the present to that future, could be a lot of volatility that if you are on leverage, if you're leveraged, you could literally lose your shirt. So the first pillar in the unshakable wealth ecosystem is income. Increase your income. So we focus on how to 10x your income. So basically, I went from $1 million to $10 million in less than a year, 10x. Now we're on our way to 100 million, 10x. And I'm learning all these things on how to 10x your income. Obviously, you have your own business. So entrepreneurs in the house, amazing job. You're at the right place at the right time. My husband is just finally seeing the light, joining the entrepreneurship. He's
nice,
quitting his job, becoming an entrepreneur. He's finally saw the light. And that's a bit to have. It's amazing. So all you have to be asking yourself at all times, what are the things that I can do right now to 10x, not 2x, 10x my income. So that's the first pillar, and that's where we're diving right from the beginning. But the second pillar is investing. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to wait to make $1 million, $10 million, or whatever it is to start investing. Investing should be along the sides, like the same pillars at the same time. The moment you make your first $100, you need to figure out how much of it you should be investing. And you can start investing with $50 per month.
Yeah.
But you need to kind of consider it, look at it as a tax. It's a tax that actually pays you. So you got to take the emotions out of it. It's like, okay, how much of this $100 that I made, $1,000 that I made, 10,000, whatever it is that you're making per month right now, how much of it are you committing to automatically contribute to your investment portfolio? And once you have that number, and we help you find that number, then you're like, okay, what am I going to invest in? Everyone's like, oh, Kiana, just give me a good investing tip. And I'm like, everybody is different.
Yeah, right? It's so true.
Personal, you're just about to become a dad. Your life is going to change drastically. Your investment strategy from last year compared to next year is going to be completely different, because what happens when you have a major life change? Your risk tolerance is going to change. Your willingness to take a risk is going to change. Your ability to take a risk is going to change. Your future goals are going to change. Who you're doing it for is going to change. Your why is going to change. All of that are components of your investment strategy. So my guess is this is how my investment strategy changed when I became a mom. Before I was even married, I had a completely different investment strategy. Because why? I didn't have a lot of money. I was broke as a joke, ready to show, as my coach would say. I literally didn't have money to pay rent. But I had the side gig that I was doing, and I was making a little bit of money. But I was young. I didn't care if I lost that $500. And then I'm a woman. I would go on dates. Somebody would pay for my dinner. It's a different kind of strategy.
Yeah.
So I
don't know, but I know from the other end.
Yeah, so you have to include that. If you're a dude, you're going on a date. Maybe you should set aside. Okay, this is how much I'm putting aside for my dates, and this is how much I'm putting aside for my investments. Now, for those of you oh my gosh, women are so lucky. Well, how about my husband? He invested in his dates, and now I'm the millionaire. He's not. So invest. Even your dating is an investment. Right?
Yeah, amen. That's, and I just want to pause you here because, you've mentioned, first of all, the income component, which is I think here is where people get caught up, and you talk about tactically 10xing. Give the happy hustlers just one thing. If you had to distill it into a tactical, tangible piece, how would you go about, or how did you go about 10x in your income?
All right. Oh my gosh. I love this subject because we literally were geeking out on this last week in Mexico. And I sat down with the author of 10x is easier than 2x, Dan Sullivan.
Nice.
And Benjamin Hardy. Sorry. So we were talking about this. This is it. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And I did this without even knowing back in the day. Now I understand the science behind it. The science behind 10xing is this. Whatever it is that you're making right now has got you to present amount of money that you're making, right? if you want a 10x and not 2x, and this is a little bit scary, most people, when they want to go to the next level, they kind of find the things that are working, and then they're like, okay, this is 80% of the things that are working, and then there's 20% of things that are not working, and they get rid of the 20% that is not working, and they try to do the 80% of the things that were working more. And that is the recipe to burnout.
Yeah.
And I think you have some experience with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, 10x is this. 10x is getting rid of 80% of the things that you're doing. 80%, you're going to get rid of it. And only focusing on the 20% of the things that have the maximum impact. 80% is a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to get rid of things that I actually enjoy doing. I'm a geek. I love making funnels. I love, I manage our own ads, and I even at 20 million at this point, I make our funnels and I manage our ads.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Good for you.
It is crazy. People think I'm this socially very butterfly. No, I'm actually a geek. I'm if you will always find me behind my desk, and I completely lose track of my time. Yesterday, I was making a funnel. I completely forgot about picking my daughter up.
Oh, jeez.
So, I lose track of it, and I love doing it. But now that I know this, I'm oh my gosh, I love it. But this is not what's gonna get me to 100 mil. 100 mil is sitting somewhere else. So I went this morning and found myself a funnel builder, as much as it sucks.
Yeah.
And you have to basically get rid of 80% of the people, of the person that you are. It all goes back to who you are. Who is the Carrie Jack who makes 100 mil? What is he doing? What is he feeling? What's up? And have feelings right now.
And I just want to kind of pull back the curtain, because this is something literally real time that I'm doing. Even before this conversation, I took an assessment of my business, and I will just be straight up with you too. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur. I work about 20 hours a week. That's kind of my sweet spot. So I don't, and after experiencing burnout, I know my numbers to the point where it's you get diminishing returns after a certain threshold with finances in terms of happiness and the correlation. Actually, there was a Nobel Prize study done, and they're very, it's a smaller number than you would think. $75,000, the correlation directly between money and happiness. And this was 4 years ago. So with inflation, it's risen, but that's an individual at 75K, the correlation directly with money and happiness dissipates. And so you think about it, if you know your numbers, and yours might be 100 mil, maybe it's 10 mil, maybe it's, 1 mil. I know you talk about the millionaires, these next 5 years is more so the middle class because of inflation and where we're going. But I think looking at your business and how you can find, Peter Diamandis talks about the moonshots, right? Which actually have that exponential growth potential. For me, and I'll just tell you, I have this framework, the soul mapping framework, that I help entrepreneurs achieve this blissful balance, both personally and professionally. And I've had companies approach me to implement this framework for their employees, because employee engagement is at an all-time low, quiet quitting is at an all-time high. And I'm do I really want to play in the B2B realm? It's come on, I got a nice business. It's chilling. I go to fly fishing and horseback riding. I'm enjoying my life, And then I'm damn, this is huge. Think how many unhappy employees there are. Studies show 2 out of every 3 are disengaged and unhappy. I could literally be, you familiar with EOS, the Entrepreneur Operating System, Gino Wilner? Yeah. So that's how I position now. I'm building this whole wing of my B2B side, and I'm getting rid of pretty much everything else, where I just serve these companies who want to increase employee engagement. And I have a systematic way to do so and track it in a 90-day span. And it's that I can license that to every company that cares about their people. Really, it's a moonshot that could have this huge opportunity. And I think I listen to you talk, and I'm that is really what you have to do in order to achieve that goal. I have to get rid of a lot of the stuff that maybe I enjoy doing, but isn't really bringing me the most, I call it the MVT, most valuable task. Like it's not, our most valuable task. And for you, funnel building was something you had to get rid of. I love funnel building too. I do have a really good funnel builder, by the way. Remind me at the end if you want an intro. Yeah. Anyway, this is amazing. I love where we're at already. The 10X income, I think people understand, like you got to focus your time. You mentioned investing. I want to hit them with like actual tactical things when it comes to investing. I know there's a lot of savvy investors who are part of my audience, but like just when it comes to investing, what do you recommend to just get started? I know that you have a whole course on it, but like maybe there's something, maybe a mistake that you made that you see that you kind of like say, whatever you do when it comes to investing, don't do this.
Oh, I love that question. And just to piggyback on what you just said, I just want to mention this, like this 10X thing is not just 10Xing your money, it's also 10Xing your happiness. Like they go hand in hand.
Boom.
If you're not happy, like what you're doing is so important, because if you're not happy, you're actually gonna kind of, push away the amount of abundance or money, whatever it is that you can bring to your life. And then let's go with the investing. So yes, I understand that you have a lot of savvy people. Would it be okay for the savvy people here in the audience if I just start with a little bit of in the beginning? Because I don't want to lose the non-savvy people. So investing, like people are like, okay, where do I even go to invest in something? Okay, so investing has never been easier. Why? Because we have internet. Oh my gosh, what a concept. Yeah. Previously, like 30 years ago, you would have to go to an actual New York Stock Exchange to buy a stock. No longer. All you have to do is you have internet connection and you go and download an app that connects you to the New York Stock Exchange or to wherever it is that you want to invest. I specialize in stocks, and don't get scared, but also cryptocurrencies. There is a way to do it, right? About this, right? I actually wrote Cryptocurrency Investing For Dummies. The second edition just came out. And it's not just about cryptocurrency, because the biggest mistake any investor ever makes is going into investing without knowing their risk tolerance. And when I say risk tolerance, this is what I mean. I don't mean, I'm such a risk taker, I'm an adventurer. No. That is a component of your risk tolerance. Yep. But it's only one out of the 3 components of your risk tolerance that even financial advisors don't talk about. So what is your risk tolerance? This is the most important thing that you need to figure out. First component is your willingness to take a risk. Yes, that is your psychology, where you are in life. You're a mom, you're a dad, you're a parent, you're single, you have dependents, you don't have dependents, maybe you're retired, depending on your age, depending on your goals, you will have a different willingness to take a risk. Maybe you're 80, like my dad has a different risk tolerance than my daughter. And therefore I have a different kind of investment strategy for them. My dad is 80. He's like, no, like I need the money like yesterday. Like I can't take any risk. Whereas my daughter is fine. Like, obviously this is going to be a completely different portfolio for these two people. And then I'm in the middle, right? Yep. The second component of your risk tolerance is your ability to take a risk. A lot of people go in not knowing where they even stand financially. Like you're like, oh my gosh, I made $1 million. Like, you know how many 2 Comma Club Award winners I know who are broke? Like there is no, like this is so not like true. This bad. It's amazing to make $1 million, but making $1 million, hey, newsflash, is not your net worth. It is not your, like that is not the net. What matters is how much did you keep and how hard is it working for you? Yep. Okay. So it's not your revenue, it's knowing how much money is where. Yep. And how much potential money income is coming in. We talked about the first pillar of the wealth ecosystem is income. So you need to know. And that also kind of impacts your risk tolerance, right? So obviously my willingness to take a risk went higher the moment I went from $1 million revenue company to $10 million revenue company, because now I have a system that I know no matter what happens is going to just bring money in passively, automatically for me. So yeah, I took more risk last year and I was fine with it, you know? Mm-hmm. So your willingness to take a risk, your ability to take a risk, and the third component, there's a third component that almost nobody talks about, and that is your personal confidence in the asset that you're investing in. People are like, oh my gosh, crypto is a scam, or no, crypto is like the future, and everybody has their opinion.
Yep.
But let me tell you this. Elon Musk said so, or Warren Buffett said so, is not an investment strategy. That is not, Kiana Danial said so, is not an investment strategy. It's an opinion. Okay? So Warren Buffett says crypto is a scam. Elon Musk says crypto is the future. Two extremely iconic, powerful people, complete opposite sides of one thing. So what do you do? I'm gonna plug. Don't buy. I'm gonna plug my book. You go out and read cryptocurrency Investing For Dummies right now. You go on and educate yourself. So that's why the book is not about crypto. Like, the book is actually about personal finance, and I like teach cryptocurrencies in that. But it's like understand what it is. Like for me, Bitcoin. I learned about it in 2011, and back then I thought it was a scam. Like one of my mentors actually was like, Kiana, go buy Bitcoin. It was $11. And I'm like, yeah. And back then I was like day trading, doing some of the craziest, risky kinds of trading. But I said no to Bitcoin. And whose fault is that? It's my fault because I was lazy. I didn't go and educate myself about Bitcoin.
Well, you want to know?
Now, it's good that I didn't invest in it.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to take us on a sidebar. I bought Bitcoin back when Silk Road was a thing to get things I shouldn't be. And I don't even know my login, and I still have Bitcoin in there. So that's even worse. But I do hear you. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
No, totally, right? But I'm also proud of myself for not investing in Bitcoin when I didn't know. Like, yeah, I kick myself for not learning about it, but I'm also proud of myself because I'm like, you know what? I don't know about this, so I'm not going to invest in it. And I was focusing on my business, and you know what? That was fine because I was focusing on my business. I didn't have time to learn about Bitcoin. I started my business back in 2011, and you know what? That's made me a lot of money. So I'm not like really complaining, right?
Yeah, no, but I hear you.
If you are about to invest in Bitcoin, go and learn. And for me, the epiphany about Bitcoin was very personal because then 2016 came along, and I was hired to do analysis for this company in the UK. It was a financial company. And they were like, hey, can you create content for us for Bitcoin and crypto? I'm like, I don't know nothing about crypto. And I started, then I got the job though. I was like, I need the money. Let's do it. So I started actually diving into it. And I found out that, wow, like, so I was born and raised in Iran.
Yep.
And before I was born, my dad had this super successful company. He was like very, very rich. And then the revolution happened in Iran. And then the new Iranian government took over his assets, froze his bank accounts, came to our house, took all of our stuff. And after I was born, they were still raiding our house every quarter or something just to see if we have anything. And I was like, wow. Like if Bitcoin existed back in then, like a crypto wallet is way easier to hide, right? Because I remember like my parents, we had like piano and like we had like a Persian carpet and stuff. So they would take our Persian carpets and piano and stuff to our friend's house to hide it so that the government can't come in and take it. So
wow.
Crypto wallet would have been way easier.
Yeah, so true.
It would have had actual value. Right, and it's not like it's decentralized, which means it's not like a bank that the government can come and like just freeze it or take over. It's decentralized. That's like the nature of Bitcoin. So that was like, oh, this is it. Like I have to have Bitcoin in my portfolio. Makes sense to me. It may not make sense to somebody else. I'm like, no, America is like never gonna have a government like that. So like the government is never going to take my money. So if that's what you think, then don't buy Bitcoin. You know. So it's like it's a safety net. Again, like crypto is not a massive part of my portfolio, but it's something that I'm like, you know what? I wanna have exposure to it. It makes sense to me based on my background, based on my situation. And again, investing is personal. So I can go talk this for hours. But yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, what percentage of your portfolio is crypto? I'm just curious.
Okay, again, this is not financial advice. This is based on my personal situation. I've calculated my risk tolerance, and the answer actually depends on the market. If Bitcoin is like $3,000 versus 60, my percentage of my portfolio goes up and down. So every given day, because of its volatile nature, obviously it's different. But I want to say 1 mil out of my 7 mil, when Bitcoin is around 30K, is crypto. So, but like, I don't know, a few months ago when Bitcoin was like 13K, like obviously that number was a little bit lower. So I want to say, I don't know what percentage that makes. Again, I'm not good at math, by the way.
25
that might shock you.
Yeah.
And to 2%, depending. Like, Bitcoin could go to 0, and that would make 2% exposure. But yeah, so, but the amount that I try to invest typically out of my income, I put 25% of my income into crypto, and the rest goes into other investment assets. Again, financial assets, because I have this rule. So, so when you're creating this rule for yourself, I'm like, okay, this much of my money is going back into my business. So invest back into my business. I have a safety net I have an emergency fund for my family, and I have an emergency fund for my business. And then all the money after all of that, I've paid myself, I've paid my business, I've paid my people, and I've made sure my family is insured. Everything after that goes to my investment account. 25% of that goes to crypto, and the rest goes to whatever else it is that I'm investing in.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for breaking that down. And I fully realize, and I know the happy hustlers understand, like everyone's allocation is going to look differently, but I always think it's important to just mention it. I have probably about 10% of my portfolio in crypto, probably, 60% in like stocks. I don't know, maybe 30% in Roth IRA, life insurance, like cash value life insurance, stuff like that. And then, the rest in real estate funds. But like, I think everyone's going to look different. It just depends like on what your investments are and what my dad, for example, he invests in classic cars. I don't think he's lost a penny on a car in his life. Like, he knows cars inside and out. He bought a 6-figure Corvette for like 27 grand recently. He'll sell that thing for, probably 5 to 10x of what he paid, because he knows like the value. So it's like, you can take Kiana's advice and apply it for whatever your unique skill set is and your niche and your knowledge. And I think that's really the importance when it comes to investing. You mentioned just have that personal confidence in the asset. Make sure your willingness and your risk tolerance and the ability around it. Those are really great key points. And so far we have 2 of the 4 pillars, and I don't want to skip out on the last 2. So let's go with the next one. What's the next I?
Totally. The next I is influence. Now, so when it comes to investing, we talked about risk tolerance. And by the way, if you don't know your risk tolerance, you want to calculate your risk tolerance. Would it be okay if I give a gift?
Please give the gift.
Listeners, Carrie. So you can literally go and give the gift. You can go and download my risk management toolkit. So I have this free masterclass that I literally talk about my investing methodology, because the third point of the Unshakable Wealth ecosystem is not investing. So if you want to geek out a little more on investing, just go to my masterclass and download my risk management toolkit. Carrie, would you share that link? We're going to give you the same investingdiva.com/masterclass one that they can go ahead and just risk management toolkit, so you know where to go. Yeah. So
that link one more time, just so everyone makes sure. The link that people should go to is investdiva.com/masterclass, right? And they can get it's on your shirt, and it's her whole brand of business. Is pretty easy and awesome to remember. Invest Diva and Invest Divo for all the guys out there, all my fellas. I like that you have that too. But tell them real quick, just, I think this masterclass is like, I don't want to just breeze over it. I know it comes with a bunch of tools, but just explain to them what the masterclass is all about, just for people who are serious about this stuff.
Yeah, so the masterclass is where I explain the exact steps that you need to take from going from either, somebody who's investing and is not making a lot of money, or somebody who's never invested before, or someone who's like just trying to make it more personalized and more strategic and hands off.
Whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming, but I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode.
Because I don't know how much time you have in your hands. I don't have that much time in my hand. So I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, like buying a house, like I manage my $6.72 million portfolio on only 1 hour per month.
Wow.
And I feel like that's pretty cool, right? So I teach you exactly how to do that. So that even if you're super busy, and even if you're starting with like low amounts, like I started this when I was only investing $500 per month. And I went from $500 to $50,000 in 3 years. And then from $50,000, then it compounds, right? So teach you exactly how you can like start from wherever you are right now and then go to this, compounding money-making machine, only 1 hour per month, maybe 1 hour per week, depending on like how savvy you get. But like, you get better and better at it, right? Before it was 1 hour per week, now 1 hour per month. And it's like super awesome. So that's what you get. And you get the risk management toolkit as well. So that's the masterclass.
InvestDiva.com/masterclass. Boom. I love it. Okay. Now we can move on with confidence for the next I, which is influence. And I love this one because, Tony Robbins, we're both big fans, talks about success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, right? And I think without influence and impact a part of your investing equation, you could potentially be hustling but not happy. And that, my friend, is a major fail, in my opinion. So let's talk about influence.
Oh my gosh, preach. So this is so cool because first of all, there's all of these misconceptions about influence. Oh my gosh, I have to go like have 1 million followers, or I have to do this or that. And the fact is like, again, it's funny, like just like I know a lot of Two Comma Club award winners were broke, a lot of influencers with like 2-3 million followers are also broke. Why? Because they're not monetizing. Now, influence is not a bad, but this is what we mean by influence. It's exactly what you said, is impact. And then it gives you authority. And I came up with this actually, I don't know if you've read the book. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to read the book, Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. And it basically means becoming a key person of influence. Who's a key person of influence? KPI is somebody that their name comes up in conversations, and it can be super niched. Like you could be the person of influence when it comes to, I'm just looking like selling red lipsticks. I don't know. Like that's
me.
So like the key person, right? Key person of influence. If you want a red lipstick for moms that is organic, for new moms, like that, call me, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs also struggle with imposter syndrome. And I found a quick fix to this. And that is literally how I started my business too. And I joke about this. I don't even know if it's a joke, but I say, so I have like a 250,000 subscriber email list, and I have a $6.72 million portfolio. And I'm like, which one would I be more upset if I lose? If like somebody like was like, I'm going to hold a ransom, like I'm going to be more upset if I lose the people, because people is very sad. But I can always go and remake that $6.72 million in a heartbeat, as long as I have my people, as long as I've made other people's lives better.
Yeah.
Because people are going to remember me for that. And that's, people is money. People is very sad. So what you want to do is to become an influence. And how I did it, I came to America 12 years ago, and I didn't even speak the language properly. My English is getting better, which is great. But
it's awesome. Great English.
Hang on. Yeah. So, but the way I actually got even into the game was I wrote a book. And that opened doors. And back in the day, when I wrote my book, it wasn't as easy to write a book. Now I'm like, you are crazy if you don't write a book, because it's so easy now to write a book. And what does becoming an author make you? It gives you authority. So I wrote a book that is on a topic that I no longer even practice, which is a little bit hard, because my first book was on Forex trading, and now I'm completely against Forex trading. But it is published and is there on all the Barnes and Nobles. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But it did open the door for me. And now I have the story. I'm like, hey, so first book was great, but don't do it, you know? So it's okay if you think, oh my God, I don't know what to talk about. What if I change my mind? It's okay. It's your evolution. It becomes part of your story. Since then, I've written 7 books. My last book that became a Wall Street Journal USA Today bestseller, I wrote it in 2 days. So, and English is my third language. So if I can do it, you can do it. So that's what I teach. I teach all my students. The first thing we do is like, hey, become an author. You give them the 2-day author method. Typically takes them like 30 days if it's the first time. And then they go and become an author. Authority, influence, impact. It's like the new business card. Like everybody just throws out their business cards. If you go to an event and somebody gives you a business card, where it goes? Trash can. But nobody throws away a book. So that's the influence part. And it just gives you so much confidence, so much connection to your people. And so much impact. Amazing.
I love it. That is such phenomenal advice. I'll tell you, my book, this one right here that I'm holding, first book, I have more than one picture of me in a Speedo in it. And I am not that proud of it. It's a great book in the essence of like what I'm talking about. But like I talk about some things that, you know, looking back, I'm like, that probably shouldn't have been said in literature. And then like I took this book and I hired a really great team, people who do all Lewis Howes' book and other books. Shout out to Story Builders. And they're redoing my whole book and putting it all super professional, making it like top notch. And now I got version 2 coming out next quarter. And it's like, there's the evolution, you know, like Kiana wrote a book about Forex. She doesn't even talk about Forex. She's against it now. And that's the evolution. So it's like, I think we get so caught up in this perfectionism mindset, and it stops us from ever achieving greatness because we think it has to be perfect the first time. And I literally live by good and done is better than perfect and never finished. And I think you should too. And I think, you know, by you, I mean, all the happy hustlers out there, Kiana kind of, I think already is living by that, you know, but this is something, you know, when it comes to writing a book, I really think that thought leadership that is established and that credibility component, it can't be matched with any other thing out there, because a book is a labor of love. And now let's just be honest too, it's got to be a decent book. Like if you're going to actually get thought leadership from it. So, you know, I think it's important to actually know the topic and really make sure that you have the foresight, but influence for sure can be achieved through authorship. And I love that you mentioned it, especially because it's so tactical, and I love giving the audience like tactical things. So this is great. Let's hit them with the last pillar. What is it, Kiana?
The last pillar is, have you ever like felt scared about,
Never.
oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
No, always.
Like, oh my gosh, how much taxes do I have to pay? Like, have you ever felt like you have to pay taxes and you're like, I don't want to pay taxes, you know? And you're like, why am I like, I would rather like give to charity. Like, how many guys have ever felt like, I'd rather give to charity than like, you know, taxes. So, and the cool thing is, if you live in America, it's like the system is actually for you as long as you have everything in place. So once you have your income in place and your influence in place and your investments in place, then it's going to make sense for you to follow the Rockefeller system. So I learned about this recently, and oh my God, it saved us so much money and so much peace of mind. It's basically the trust fund system. So I know I call it insurance. I actually don't mean life insurance, although life insurance could be like, it could be, there are so many different avenues to insurance. It could be life insurance or whatever. I don't do those. I actually do go through the Rockefeller's methodology when it comes to trust funds that preserves your wealth and also shelters your wealth from paying crazy amounts of federal taxes. And so that is where you want to aspire to go. Like, the more money you make, the more you can actually incorporate all of these amazing legal loopholes that were created for the entrepreneurs in this country. And other countries can do it too, or you can move to Qatar or Dubai or something. So there are so many different ways you can do it, but they don't.
Or Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, Puerto Rico, like whatever it is that, again, so there are so many avenues we talk about, again, depending on your understanding, depending on your personal situation and goals, there are different insurance components, but it is something that you need to think about. So my job, like, I don't provide this. I don't do life insurance. I'm not a broker, but I open the loop and I help you think about this, and so that you actually have it in place. Like, how many people don't still have a will?
Yep.
You don't want to think about it, right?
Yeah.
We didn't want to think about it because I'm not going to die. Like, I'm young. Like, what are you talking about, right? So you don't want to actually put it together. You don't want to put together that estate plan. And all of these are the things that, so in our community, I'm just like that annoying coach. And I'm like, did you do this? And they're like, no. Yeah. I'm like, did you do this? So please do it. And then you can like on top of it. So ensuring your wealth, preserving your wealth so that you can pay less taxes, make more impact, give more to charity, and sleep peacefully at night. Because at the end of it, your happy hustler is all about the quality of your sleep. I think for me, it's like, if I have my sleep, I'm happy, I'm good. Yeah. So that's the way to do it. That's what insurance is. Insurance is like that happy component of all the things. So you don't.
Yeah, it's like your money's melatonin. You know, it's like it helps you sleep better at night. You can, you know, I don't know if that works, but it might. Anyway, I really recommend all the happy hustlers go back and listen to the episode that recently dropped with Norm Westervelt. Do you know Norm by chance? I'm going to make an intro. You're going to love him and his business, Wealth Factory. Do you know Garrett Gunderson by chance?
Yeah, heard his name.
Okay. So Garrett's a good friend of mine. He wrote What Would the Rockefellers Do? And
right. Yes, of course I know. Yes.
Yeah.
I know that book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Garrett was on the podcast, I think twice, and he's coming to Montana in July. We're close friends. This is something like, again, the insurance component. I have a meeting on Thursday with an estate planner who, you know, we're talking about my will and all the things. It's like, you might not even think you have an estate to protect, but you do. And if you don't put the plan in place before you need it, it's going to be too late. And I'll just tell you straight up, I almost died in last April, from carbon monoxide poisoning. I was passed out unconscious, leaky heater. gashed my head open. The happy hustlers know my story, but it really woke me up because I was like, I could die like that. And it changed like how I managed money and how I managed my plan and my estate and my trust and all the things. So it's like, these are topics that they're not glamorous to talk about, but you need to have this conversation with yourself, with your loved ones, and you need to be prepared. You need to be insured, and you need to then have this stuff in place so you can sleep better at night, right? And get that beauty rest, right? Like that's what's important, especially, when you're happy hustling, you don't want to have to think about all this stuff because it takes mental capacity away from your business and your personal life and the things that you really want to do. So this was phenomenal. Sum up those 4 I's for us in just one real tight sound bite, and we're probably going to make a promo clip from it. So hit us with it. What are those 4 I's?
Unshakable wealth ecosystem is income, invest, influence, and insure. Insure your money. Go sleep well at night so that you're a happy hustler. I love it. I love happy hustling.
Yeah, this is amazing. So you talk about the 4 types of millionaires. I know we could kind of go in a lot of different places, but you really hit me with something I resonate greatly with is like, you can make $1 million, but you could still be cash poor, and you could be not like I know a lot of people who have, like you said, millions of followers, and they are broke as a joke. I know a lot of people with every Tony Robbins certification under the sun, and then they can't make $1. It's like, I just so wholeheartedly believe in like testimonials trump certifications, and like your actual net profits trump your, gross earnings. Just talk to us about these 4 types of millionaires real quick.
So the first kind of millionaire is the cash flow millionaire, somebody who makes $1 million per day, per hour, per month, per whatever it is, but it's a cash flow millionaire. And it's great. It's great to have. But what's even better is the second type of millionaire, which is asset millionaire. Asset millionaire, what's an asset? Is somebody who has a net worth of over $1 million. What does that mean? Net worth. Your net worth is your assets minus all of your liabilities, all of your debt. So then we have the second type, which is the asset millionaire. The third type is the portfolio millionaire. That is what the Invest Divas and our Invest Divos aspire to become. And that is when you have $1 million. That's when we give this award, the Millionaire Diva Award, to. You have $1 million in your investment portfolio. Why is that important? Is because that means that your money, $1 million, is compounding. And compound interest, we didn't even get to talk about that today, but is the 8th wonder of the world, because it compounds on top of each other. And if $1 million is compounding every single year, let's say even if it's an average 8% per year, that is going to be your guarantee to a good, healthy retirement. But then even better than that, that comes with the 4th pillar of the unshakable wealth ecosystem we just talked about, is if you become a trust fund millionaire. So once you have a trust fund in place and all of your assets, so I took all my portfolio now under my trust fund, and I don't own anything. I control everything, and everything is preserved, tax free. All the gains on it, like I don't care anymore about capital gain taxes because under the trust fund. And so if you become a trust fund millionaire, oh my gosh, you're like, that is a Rockefeller. So those are the 4 types of millionaires: cash flow millionaire, asset millionaire, portfolio millionaire, and trust fund millionaire.
Boom. Powerful. I mean, guys, go back and just like rewind that last, 2-minute monologue from Kiana, because that's gold. You have to know, which one you're striving for, and then reverse engineer how to actually get there. Like, that's the cool thing about wealth and money. It's like, this isn't recreating recreating the wheel. It's like you just follow the process that's been done before you. And that's what you teach. I know you have your books. Where can people go to find out more about you? Obviously, we know that masterclass is a really great starting place, but like, I know you put out some awesome content online. Where can people go? Maybe if they want to join your email list, where's the best place?
Totally. So the masterclass will get you into the email list. That is more, as I said, geared towards investing. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to like really geek out on all of these 4 pillars and 10x your business, then I would invite you to join us in our next live event. So we're doing a live event. We've been doing it for 2 years. It's just fantastic. It's a 5-day live challenge, and it's virtual, and we have a blast. We geek out on all of these 4 pillars. And would it be okay if I share the live event?
Yeah.
And so all you have to do is go to buildmorewealth.com. So build more wealth. If you want to build more wealth, go to buildmorewealth.com and grab your seat, save your spot. Come say hi to me. It's going to be super fun. We have so much fun in our events.
Yeah. First of all, great domain. I don't know what you had to pay for that, but that's a great domain, buildmorewealth.com. And I know live events is a beast of a business. So kudos to you. I run live events myself in these high-level masterminds. And like anyone in the event game knows, like there's easier ways to make money. But the thing that I always say is like the magic happens at those events that you can't get in like an online setting. It's just different. And so I highly recommend, if you are an entrepreneur and you want to go deeper with Kiana, like this is something, check it out, buildmorewealth.com. Now, Kiana, I do want to put you through a couple of the Happy Hustle hack questions and then the rapid fire round, and we will wrap this interview up. This is basically a tip, a tool, a tactic in a different discipline, not necessarily one we've talked about. I want to talk about health. I know health is a priority for you. If you're going to be successful in any capacity, you have to have your health, and your energy is a big component. Do you have something that we could deem a Happy Hustle hack here? Something that's a little unique that you could share?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I'm all about health, but I'm also lazy. So this is like lazy in terms of like having to work out. So you probably, I don't know. So, and I said like sleep is very important to me. And so I have found this thing. It's called, if you're in Tony Robbins' world, you probably already know this, but it's this device called, it's Newcom. Have you heard of Newcom?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Like that is like my biggest hack to all things at this moment, because like I do my power naps in 20 minutes. If I have insomnia, you're about to become a dad, you're going to need Newcom in your life. Like that is what I actually got introduced to when I had my daughter. And like, I was like, I don't have time to sleep. It was like, you would Newcom it. So that has been my hack. So for those of you who don't know, it basically is like a sticker that you put on your wrist, and then you listen to this crazy wave activation music that just tricks your body that you fell asleep. And even if you don't fall asleep, you come out of it 20 minutes later as if you had a 2-hour power nap. And this has saved my life. So
yeah.
I don't know if it actually is a health advice, but that's what it has like really changed the quality of my days.
That's amazing. I, again, really appreciate that you give like tactical things. So check out newcom.com. Hopefully you get an affiliate commission. Yeah, I know. We need to get you the hookup, girl. Anyone at Newcom listening, call Kiana. Anyway, let's talk about spirituality. I think this is a big piece to the puzzle when it comes to happy hustling, a life that you love. And I know you were raised in a Jewish family. I'm actually Jewish. I'm half Jewish. My mom is Jewish. My dad is Catholic, but I'm just believing in God and a higher power. I'm very spiritual, but not necessarily religious. Anyway, I'm curious if you have a happy hustle hack when it comes to just connecting with the higher power, something that you do that you could share with the happy hustlers.
Oh yeah. So you just opened a whole different door. Cause I was born and raised Jewish, and then I'm married to a Catholic. So my daughter is half.
There we go.
And so when I went to Japan, I lived in Japan for 7 years and Iran is a Muslim country. So I studied Islam at school. So up until 18, I was like, oh my gosh, religion is the most important thing in the universe. I was all in religion. I was like, okay, I'm Jewish, but Islam, like they're all kind of the same. I was all in religion. I went to Japan and I asked my classmates, so what do you think about God? And he's like, who? And I'm like, God. So they don't know about God. And so that got me very confused, because these are like super amazing, nice people who have nothing to do with religion. So I became very curious. Then I became an atheist. And then I recently, last year, I did some soul searching. So I did a spiritual journey, and then I got reintroduced to a new version of my higher power. So, how do I turn this into something that is not religious, not spiritual? So, so meditation, obviously. But okay, one of my best spirituality hacks that has nothing to do with religion or spirituality, no matter what you believe. There is this YouTube thing that you meditate, and I think it's called Meet Your Future Self or Future Self Meditation. And there are so many different versions of it. And one of these versions basically kind of brings together your past self, your inner child, and then you kind of get together and then brings in your future self. And it was probably one of the most powerful meditations I've ever done. Wow. And also the spirituality, because one of the books that I'm also geeking out from Benjamin Hardy is Meet Your Future Self Now. Because all of these things that we just talked about, like 10xing your happiness, your business, your whatever it is you want to 10x, you can literally get guidance from your future self if you meet them. So I would say go find whatever it is that you can do to meet your future self. If you're religious, you can go to church and like ask Jesus, give you your future self. If you want to do, I don't know, ayahuasca, go ask Mother Ayahuasca, hey, I want to meet my future self. If you want to do like meditation, meditate, meet your future self. And I think, it has been super powerful for me.
Yeah, I love that. Meet your future self. And I actually heard you with Bob Proctor, and you talked about, your future self and being very specific and intentional with your words and your subconscious and writing down, those present tense statements as if you have it already. And that's something I do twice a day is my I am mantras. And I just go through my list. I am the world's greatest happy hustler. And I have my whole thing, but it's embodying it is, I think, the difference. And you mentioned, your spiritual journey. I'm curious, was that plant medicine? Was there some plant medicine involved? Because I have done I've done plant medicine as well in Costa Rica at Rhythmia at the Life Advancement Center down there. And I don't know, what was your experience like? Sidebar.
So I did it in Hawaii and I did Kana. And it's funny because I'm doing my second journey literally in 4 days. Is my birthday present to myself. And that's what I was thinking about. What is my intention going in? And this is going to be my intention. I want to see the Kiana Danial that I want to meet her. I want to say, okay, who are you? Like, what are you doing? My intention is to give 1,000 of our Millionaire Portfolio Awards on a stage. We're going to have this massive event, and 1,000 of my students are getting a Millionaire Portfolio Award. So like, okay, who is that Kiana Danial? Like, what did you do? How did you get here? Like, I'm going to be very specific. So yeah, I'm doing that actually literally 4 days. I'm very excited about it.
In Hawaii again, or?
No, this one. So the same facilitator is coming to New York actually. So we're doing it here. And Kana is actually legal in America. So that's cool.
Huh. I haven't.
So we're not doing anything illegal.
K-A-N-A?
I think Kaana. It's not very widely known. I think it's called it's a South African plant base, and it's way lower dose of ayahuasca. But it's not even ayahuasca, but I had a very powerful experience. Yeah. Like it completely changed and it was only 1 day. Like I know ayahuasca is like, it can be like 7 days or something. This is like 1 day, one night. And it just, it showed me my future self without me even asking the first time. Now this time I'm going to go with the intention of like, asking, like, hey, like let's hang. So
well, and here's something too, like, you could get high on your own supply with just breath work. Like if you just actually do breath work and meditation, but there is advanced modalities like plant medicine that I will say I did a lot of forgiving when I did plant medicine in these 4 different ceremonies. And that was just like, sometimes you have to shed that trauma and that baggage in order to become your best future self. And I just think, whatever your journey is to become that future self and the best version of you, like explore some of these different options and really figure out what works for you. So that's where we'll leave it. But I think that's, awesome that you're going there and that you're willing to do that deep work, because a lot of people aren't, and then they just complain about the results, AKA their reality. And I think it's sad, you got to make change if you want it. So let's talk about money. We talked money hacks throughout the whole show pretty much, but I usually ask my guests like a money hack. Do you have, if you could distill it into like one thing that's maybe like unique that we haven't talked about, that you're like, guys, do this thing. This has like been a real game changer for me. I know it's not like a one size fits all and it's hard to put it in a box, but it can be something that maybe, is a little unique when it comes to money and we could deem a happy hustle hack.
All right. So I don't think there's anything that we didn't talk about. Like, I don't want to go too deep in like investing side of things.
Yep.
But I'm going to actually connect this to the spirituality part of things.
Please.
Keep it measurable, right? So at your business, even like me managing my team, the game kind of changed when we had numbers assigned to everybody. Like, you're in charge of this number. That person is in charge of. So we're going to sell 2,000 tickets to the live event. Who is like, and then like we have the numbers measurable and have an end goal. Like, it's all about, like, I feel like money is all about goal setting. So have that measurable number. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich talks about it. Traction, if you haven't read that book for team management, read that book. Like, if you have a team that is growing, you want to go in having read the book Traction by Wickman, something Wickman, and have
Gino.
That actual number, and then have an end date goal. Like, Kiana Danial has made $230 million net worth. Like, be very specific about what it is. What do you mean $230 million? Is it my cash flow? Is it my asset? Is it this? No. Net worth. What does that mean for me? It means that when I look at all of my assets in my investment account portfolio and in my bank account and in here and real estate and equity, when I add them up, it's going to come down to $230 million by December 29th, 2024. I just announced that. Oh my goodness. So I better make it happen. So, but yeah, have it to be very specific and what you mean by it. Because I want to become a millionaire. Like, what does that mean? Like, what kind of millionaire?
No, specificity reigns supreme. Yeah. That's gold right there. And what they say, what you measure, you can manage. So you have to know your numbers. This is amazing. I'm going to put you through the rapid fire round real quick and we'll wrap this interview up. So this is basically a random question and you just answer honestly. First thing that comes to mind. It's actually a series of random questions that I just come up with on the spot. Typically, sometimes they're the same. Anyway, are you ready?
Oh my gosh, let's go. All right.
Favorite food? Go.
Sushi. I don't know why I said that.
Favorite movie?
Avatar.
Ooh, favorite book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Favorite workout?
Newcomb.
So, AKA sleeping. Love it.
No, dancing. I love dancing. Yeah.
Okay. Best business advice?
Oh, be a leader, not a follower.
What's your spirit animal?
Oh, it's a mermaid.
I've never heard that on the show. That's great. That's great. It could be.
I was going to say rabbit, but it's a mermaid.
No. I like mermaid. Mermaid. 3 things you're most grateful for.
Oh, my daughter, my husband, and my business. Actually, by business, I mean my community, my Invest Divas.
Love that. And if you had a billboard for the world to see with your last piece of content on it, what does that billboard read?
Fun, feminine finance. No, we're bringing the divine feminine and fun to finance. That's what we're doing.
Final answer.
As of today, I don't know what my future self will say, but as of today, today's Kiana Danial is bringing fun and the divine feminine to finance because there's more abundance there. Like, finance has become so like oh my gosh, you have to like win or lose or bear. No. It's abundance. It's an abundance of money. We're all going to win. So divine feminine, your inner divine feminine carry as well into finance.
Hey, I get it. We're all made up masculine and feminine, you know. Don't let the handlebar mustache fool you. You know, I got plenty of feminine in me too. So here we go. All right. You crushed that rapid fire round, Kiana. And I really just want to take a moment to acknowledge you for just sharing your love, your light, your wisdom, your, you know, investing tips and tools and your amazing community and your books with the world. Like, you are a beacon of light in this industry, and also very engaging and entertaining and inspiring for, I think, a lot of people, like coming from where you started and looking at what you've amassed and how you got there and how you can actually like tactically reverse the steps and, you know, learn from you, I think is really amazing, because there's a lot of gurus out there. I know, you know, fake gurus, and you're not one of them. And I'm just, yeah, it's just awesome to see. So thank you again for sharing all your wisdom. I just appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on. It was very, very fun chatting with you.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
Good luck. Oh my gosh. Kids. So cool.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now, final call to action, guys, investdiva.com/masterclass. And if you want to go to her live event, buildmorewealth.com. Check her out on Instagram. Your Instagram is at Invest Diva. Is that right? Or
oh yes. Please don't fall for my impersonators. There are like literally a million of them. So
okay.
I only have per social media, I only have one account. Like one account. I don't have anything else, just one account. Instagram is at Invest Diva. That's it. That's the only account that I have on Instagram. And I'm the most active there. So at Invest Diva.
Okay. Yeah. Follow her there. Don't fall for the impersonators, and really just take your finances in your own hands. I love all the things you talked about, but I do want to ask you the final question. What does happy hustling mean to you?
Oh, okay. Like literally, it's the first time somebody asked me that question. But happy hustling is when you have fulfillment. When you have fulfillment doing what you love.
Mic drop.
Like when I first
Kiana,
started, that's what it is. Yeah.
Crush that. I mean, there you go. Fulfillment has to be a part of the equation. Thank you all for watching and listening. We are out. Peace and love, everyone.